I'm so excited. Woo-hoo! All right.
Boom, and we're live.
2 at once. Let's go. All right, the Rankers are back. We're excited. What a fantastic week of games. We're also we can see each other for the first time ever. I didn't know it looked like this. Damn, I'm more scared than ever. Kestner, by the way, sucks to be you. Okay, let's go. We're all here. We have a guest bonus star. Santos
It couldn't wait. It was like the first line of the show, and he has to rub it into Josh Pickens.
Kestner listens, and I want to make sure that he hears it. If he's cutting off the pod before it ends, I want to make sure he hears that I beat him. Well, yeah, Santos is here. He's joining us, which is fantastic. We do want to cycle the other managers in, and this was the perfect opportunity. And I think we just dive into the rankings. Do you guys have anything to say going forward? Santos, want to introduce yourself?
Hello. I've been in this league pretty much every year. I think it was just 1 year I wasn't in it.
Yeah, just 1 year.
Yeah, he was in since inception.
Well, yeah, then I think the second year I wasn't in it or
2014.
something. Yeah, there was 1 year I did not play, but been in this league pretty much every year. I've won one time, the one-time champ, and someday I'll get back to glory. I don't
What
think
year
this,
was that?
it was like 2 years ago, right?
It's recent.
Don't talk about it. He beat me. Let's move on.
Yeah, you were like the huge
yeah.
underdog, and you pulled off the dub.
Yeah, I was the huge underdog, and I think I pulled the Colts defense off the waiver wire, and they got like 30 points. Yeah, 30 points,
Yep.
and Jameis Winston went off for another 30-40
Legendary
that week, and it was my greatest fantasy move of all time. I'll never
literally had higher priority than me, got Colts above me in priority, played him against me, beat him.
I'll be 60 years old and still talking about that time I snagged the Colts D off the waiver wire to win my league.
2 special teams touchdowns. It was unreal.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's insane.
But yeah, I love fantasy. I'm in like 6 different leagues this year of shapes and sizes and whatnot. So
And
a good time.
Santos plays Dynasty, so
I'm in one Dynasty league. Yeah.
we've been chatting Dynasty. That could be something we refer to the old Sandy Toes and say, hey,
That's
help
me.
us out. All right, well, we're gonna dive through the rankings, and we're gonna just see what comes out. So at number 12, we won't do this for every pick, but Santos, do you have a prediction at who's at 12?
Oh, who's the 12th?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Since you didn't listen to the pod last week.
Yeah, since I didn't.
And have no frame
yeah,
of
since I
reference.
didn't listen to last week.
Shame.
That's right,
Dang
get
it.
him.
I honestly I haven't looked at the other teams too much. I'm gonna say I was about to say Ken, but he won this past week. So I'm gonna go with someone in the
he was gonna win at that
yeah, someone in the rookie division. Maybe Sam.
Ooh,
That's a good pick.
close.
That's a good pick. But
Sam,
the
because
real-
like his running back situation is a little rough. Oh wait, no.
Oh, we're gonna get to Sam. Don't you worry. The number 12 pick, the number 12 team right now is still no move. Unfortunately, Jacob Hughes right now slotting in at 12.
Undisputed.
Well, actually, I have him at 9, but
Oh,
Whoa.
I'm high
We
on
want to hear
Jacob-
about that.
on Jacob. But yeah, we can talk.
Yeah,
about it.
I'm looking at his receivers now. Okay.
yeah,
so-
scratching his head.
Yeah, the biggest thing here, and that's just huge. The biggest weakness is truly and utterly stuck with my cousin's receivers. He's kind of forced to start Nelson Aguilar this week, and I mean, maybe it's the Jets, but Jerry Jeudy going on IR. I know it's only for 6 weeks. Is the true crush here? I think that moves a bunch of people down, and I know not everyone's high on Kirk Cousins. I think that team's gonna have to pass often. But this team, other than that, right? DJ Chark, 12 targets this last week. And I don't think, I know it's controversial. I think there's a lot of fire behind that smoke. Hunt is a weekly starter. Elliott is going to have a better week than he did. Gronk and Kittle is the real kicker here. You can play both. Why not play both? I mean, I think you should trade one for another receiver because on the bench, he does have a startable Mark Ingram. But play both. Like, I like it, but I understand why you guys are so down on him.
I mean, is there any argument to playing Beasley in the flex?
Yeah,
I think that's what he did last week.
Is it?
and he was fine. I mean, he played Pittsburgh, so
Yeah.
but he had 13 targets. The man had 13 targets.
There's just not a lot of upside there because it's all short depth targets. So you might get 13, but they're all going to be, if he catches like 9, for example, it's going
Yeah.
to be for like 60 yards.
Yeah, if this was full PPR, I would say definitely Beasley in the flex, but
Yeah.
I mean, safe 8 points with touchdown upside. There are worse flexes, and we'll get to Sam's team in a second. But there are worse flexes.
Yeah.
No, any words on Jacob? I mean, I think we've laid out why he's
Still have faith he will
I-
finish in the top 8, top 7.
yeah,
maybe?
the struggle for me is just the running back depth. I mean, like if somebody goes down, he's got Pollard for the handcuff, which is nice, and Dylan in case Jones bites the dust. But other than that, it's kind of a struggle. So
And I know last week we said that he was probably going to have, some good waiver priorities. Well, that did not happen for week 1. And that's unfortunate.
did he?
Good Richard.
Yeah, he picked up Ingram, right? And
Yeah.
but yeah, did not get Mitchell. So yeah.
I texted Justin. I was like, dang it. I had a waiver claim in on Ingram so I could trade him to freaking Jacob. Jacob just got him.
I just got to say, 8 claims on Elijah Mitchell. Holy moly.
Yeah.
That
That's a lot.
was a lot of people.
Wild.
Would have loved to see the fab on that if it was
Yeah.
that was live.
I didn't even
Next
need him. I
week
was
is
just going
gonna
to
be
trade him to
all
somebody.
trade
People were saying they put like literally 100% of their fab on Elijah Mitchell this week.
So dumb.
Yeah, it's a little cuckoo. At number
Anyways.
11, we've got Samuel Kobayashi. 0-1, aptly named.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a fall, kind of. Sam was number 8 last week, so 3-week dip coming out of the preseason. Noah, give us your take.
On Sam, I mean, it's kind of like a middle of the pack team, but nothing to talk about. No shining point, like nothing I like about it. You have startable players everywhere. I didn't have him that low. I had him at 9, I think. Yeah, 9. So I mean, I didn't have him at 11. Who ranked him at 12? Was that you?
That's
Luke?
me. That's me.
Okay,
I
then
think
you
this
go
team
for it.
sucks. Okay, Dak Prescott, top 5 quarterback, maybe even top 3 quarterback. Nick Chubb, stud. All right, and after that is question marks that all have terrible floors and not great ceilings.
Yeah,
James,
the wide receivers are kind of rough, especially with Brown questionable. But I think you should keep starting Robinson, and
He has to start Robinson.
You can keep starting Smith. Well, like
Yeah,
even if
somebody
you had
else.
other options, like you still should.
Zach Moss on the bench was a healthy scratch. Ayuk was
Yeah,
not
I mean,
used
I
in
know
the
he
offense at
no
all.
other options.
Lev Bell is on the practice squad. But even like in the flex, like we're talking about like bad flexes. Like I guess I like Laviska Shenault. Waddle looked fine, but none of these guys are gonna blow the roof off of it.
This will be the good season-long story of who finishes better, Sam or Jacob, because they
Yeah,
both had like
they both
no
sold.
picks coming into the year.
Yeah, like Noah just said, they both sold to try to win. They got 2nd and 3rd respectively last year,
Oof.
and they're reaping the benefits.
Trash.
And meanwhile, Noah, who didn't sell anything, got the dub. It's also the worst team in the league. So
Actual. Technically factual.
non-ranked.
Yeah, what sucks about this is he's got Ayuk on the bench, and like pre-season, I think a lot of us would have said that's a great draft pick, and then
Yeah.
he does absolutely nothing. And what's the guy's name? Sherfield turns out to be the new guy over in San
But
Francisco.
I think that Shanahan was saying that that's more injury related
Yeah.
than play related, or at least that's the theory. So,
Yeah, it's just
similar-
tough to then predict
Just wait
when
and see.
Ayuk is going to start getting targets again. So
I think similarly to the Rams offense, the Niners and the Niners will have big games from someone, and everyone else will have kind of okay, like solid games. But Ayuk, and hopefully it is only injury related, but one target is definitely terrifying. Where Samuel, I think, had 14 targets, which is that's a favorite pass catcher right there. Okay, Sam's at 11. Team sucks. I'm just
it's the running back depth or lack of for me. It's just so.
Okay. At number 10, we have Miss Your Guy to Blank, newcomer to the league. Guy ranks in at 10, unchanged. Unchanged in the week before. Coming off the win, can't wait to hear what he has to say because he hit me up. He hit me up after last week's pod and said 10. And I said, hey, prove us wrong. Also, we probably had you a little too low, but here he is at 10. Justin, tell me what you think about Guy's team.
Yeah, when I was trying to rate Guy, I wanted to get him higher because I there is upside to this team, but I just couldn't get him above any of the other rosters ahead of him. I mean, I think with Fitzpatrick going down, that really tanks McLaurin's value a little bit. And I just don't think the ceiling. Well, for one, the Eagles aren't going to play the Falcons every week, so so same. I wouldn't expect some of the. I think his week one could be a little fluky in some ways because there's just two bottom dwellers facing off there. But Stafford looks great. I mean, he looked absolutely fantastic. So he definitely found a value there. I think just the wide receiver core. I think I rated his quarterback and his running backs pretty highly. I think it's wide receiver that he's really feeling the pain.
I want to hear from Santos, but I do want to talk about Stafford just briefly. Stafford had the highest quarterback rating of his career.
Wow,
on Sunday.
I didn't know that.
That's bonkers. Santos, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, on a personal note, I'm really happy for Stafford because he finally has receivers to throw to. I mean, just the guy's been like a solid quarterback. He was held back in Detroit for so long, so I'm happy to see him actually have people to throw to. Yeah, I mean, similar to what Justin said, yeah, his running backs are good. He's got Dalvin, he's got Sanders. Like, those are good guys, really reliable players. Devonta Smith, if he and Hurts develop a connection, like that could be, something decent for Guy. But Jarvis Landry has always been a question mark for me. He's always been like avoid this guy in draft, even if he's falling right to you. And then I love Scary Terry, but there's just like a lot of holes. And then the bench situation is a little concerning to me.
Not a lot to like.
Yeah,
I like Claypool. Davis.
I love Claypool. I like Davis, but I don't know what Freeman is doing there. And
RB5 for the Ravens.
And and also, I'll be honest, like, I know there's some thought, and I know several of us, even on this show, have a second like rookie QB sitting on our benches, but I don't think Lawrence is the guy to be stashing away right now. So he looked very bad, and I don't think that team is going to get any better anytime soon.
Noah?
A quick note. Remember, when you're looking at players that do not deserve to be rostered, they were certainly all in a waiver claim for Elijah Mitchell. But since we can't just like go grab a free agent right now, you have to wait for the next waiver cycle. That's why they're still on rosters.
Fair, very fair.
Yeah, in my own mind, I'm kind of a little bit low on Sanders, although I really shouldn't be, just because that rookie put in a lot of work. But yeah, like I think Santos said, they're not going to play the Falcons every week.
Luke Jarvis said that, I think, or Justin did. One of y'all.
Whoever. Landry has been in the league a while, and he's never really emerged as like a consistent fantasy option. So that's why I still kind of feel that way about him. And yeah, McLaurin definitely has to get D-ranked because of the loss of Fitzpatrick. So I had Guy pretty low. But yeah, I mean, Cook is awesome. You can still build a quality team.
All right,
Cook and Stafford.
I will say, though, I think this week we're going to learn a lot about Guy's team because the Eagles do face a pretty good defense in San Francisco. Yeah. And if Devontae and Sanders show up, I think we look at this team pretty differently.
Yeah.
Also, I think with Fant, like with Judy going down, Fant could see a large uptick. We'll see what happens.
I've got Guy at 7. I'm the highest out of all these guys, which is interesting. I'm now high on 2 of our bottom. I got him at 7 because several things. Cook is an auto stud, and he's pretty much 2 running backs on a good day. This last week one was weird. They're playing Arizona. I know the defensive line there is crazy, but Cook is a top 2 running back for a reason. Stafford's great. Sanders, while he split a ton of time with Kenneth Gainwell, was extremely efficient, and I think that's going to be good for Sanders' health. I know for me the biggest question mark about Sanders was can he stay on the field, but splitting the time, as long as he keeps producing, I think is good for him. Terry is a great floor, and we haven't talked. Chase Claypool played against a really difficult Buffalo Bills defense in New York this week, and now he's getting the Las Vegas Raiders. And I know they look fine against the Ravens, but watch Claypool go off, and if he gets one, he needs one boom guy on his team. Like, you're looking for that guy who's going to pop off. That's a boom guy, and Justin brought him up. Noah Fant without Jerry Jeudy was huge for this squad. Had 8 targets, 6 receptions. You add a touchdown in there, and he's a top 5 tight end. Like, this roster is not bad. Guys doing a good job of managing, especially with Devontae Freeman on his roster.
Yeah.
Okay. Number that was 10. Number 9. Justin Thompson.
Wow.
Justin Thompson.
My opponent.
Your opponent. All right, Santos, you're a little shocked by this. Give me the deets.
No, I wasn't shocked actually. So
I was.
All right, so Fournette, as one of his running backs, is a bit of a rough one in my opinion. Mike Evans, let me look at, because he got 6 targets last week. And, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown are on this team. Gronk is on this team. Cameron Braid is on this team. There are a lot of mouths to feed in Tampa Bay. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the stuff in the sleeper analysis. Evans was notably the odd man out of the fun. I agree with that. It's like, I don't know how reliable Evans is right now. Kenny Golladay, I'm super down on, literally because he's in New York with Danny Dimes throwing to him. Jefferson is, great. I love Justin Jefferson. And obviously McCaffrey and Mahomes, like he could literally win this matchup against me just from Mahomes, McCaffrey, and Jefferson. Like that is my big concern. Like those 3 guys could each get like 25, 30 points and I will lose. The rest of the roster, I'm not super worried about. He does have Brandon Cooks on the bench, who is really the only option in Houston. And, they're playing Cleveland. So I don't know. I still think this is like a bit of a 50-50 coin flip, only because of, his big studs in Mahomes and McCaffrey. So,
Justin, you're the highest on the squad. Tell us why you love it.
Yeah, I think I'm the highest on it just because there's with McCaffrey and Mahomes, that's such a high floor. I mean, McCaffrey was the RB1 without a touchdown, which is kind of
that's
just so when he does score a touchdown, and what Justin scored like over 100 this week without McCaffrey scoring a touchdown, that's pretty good. With Evans and Jefferson, like they can easily go 20 plus. So there's a lot of upside to this team. I am a little concerned about the floor, and that's he actually fell in my rankings from last week. So, but I think that's why I have him higher. Is just because he can beat anybody on any given week pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. At coming in at number 8, it's number 8. Mark Cockrell.
Yeah, big mover.
Noah, tell us about some Mark.
Bro, who needs running backs, man? I mean, that's kind of what I was saying for seasons. Like, wide receivers score points, and he has 3 amazing wide receivers, and I rank them as an A for this reason because Cooper and Lamb both popped off. Hill didn't do anything until late in the game, and then popped off. And he put up the highest score of the week or something.
He was wide receiver 2 behind Amari Cooper. So we had wide receiver 1 and 2 on the squad.
So like to be a playoff contending team, you still have to hope that Barkley becomes a top fantasy running back. And then, you can make do as a running back too, with whatever as a running back too. And Zach Moss being a healthy scratch definitely bumps the Singletary stonk. And yeah, Russell Wilson continues to start the season hot, so maybe it'll continue, maybe it won't. But for now, I'm pretty high on this team for sure.
Yeah, I think I've gotten the lowest. I'll just talk briefly, then we'll jump to the next one. The running back depth does concern me, but this is a team that definitely can climb, especially if Pitts can turn the corner.
It has such high boom potential,
Yeah. No, I agree 100%.
I mean, he had the most points week 1, 140. Yeah. I mean, that's tough in a half PPR league. So
yeah. No, definitely a huge game and showed the ceiling. The ceiling is definitely there for the squad. At number 7, Justin Kobayashi slides in at 7. There he is. And I think you're pretty similarly ranked across all of ours. Yeah, we pretty much are hovering around the same number. Top concerns, I know for me, are running back, but you're kind of making up for it in receiver. Santos, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually like Henderson and Edmonds. I think they're respectable, running backs on their own. But yeah, Adams and Nuke, that's unfair. It's just an unfair 1-2 punch. I think the real question will be, is Rodgers going to bounce back? Will he have? I mean, he's playing Detroit this week, so maybe the Rodgers Adams. Yeah, I mean, he better bounce back. Yeah, I mean, he's going up against definitely one of the worst defenses out there. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty high on Green Bay to have a bounce back game this week. But if Rodgers continues struggling, that would be a big concern for me in regards to this team. And then, yeah, the backup running back situation is not amazing. Trey Sermon was a healthy scratch, right? And
yeah, he was.
Then you've kind of got the handcuffs of Connor and Michelle. So yeah, not sure. I agree. We're like putting him in kind of in the middle, average right now. I think that's a good ranking.
I like the sneaky add of Cole Kmet. He actually had a good game, and that could turn into somewhat consistency fantasy wise. And then Adams and Hopkins are just beautiful. Anything to add before we move
on? Packers just need to do better.
Yeah,
I would have had a one. If Rodgers had a bad game, I would have won. Well, I was so close. Henderson was on the 1 yard line 3 times, and he couldn't punch it in. 3 seconds.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, it's rough.
A guy coming in, taking you down week 1, showing what he's made of first week of the league. All right, at 6, right here at the halfway mark, is our resident guest, Santos Tabarro, sliding in at 6.
Ooh, that's me. What was I last week? Do we know?
7. Yes.
Okay.
7. You're 7. So a 1 round bump. And I made these rankings post trade, and I feel like I could derail the rankings with the trade talk. So I'd like to do that after we do our rankings. So just looking at the roster, I've got you the highest, but we're all kind of right there. Noah, talk to me.
Can we just talk about the tragedy of setting your team name to a Waller and then trading away Waller?
Literally, I said it this morning. I'm sitting there at work. I said it, and then I messaged Luke. We won't get into the trade, but I messaged Luke. He says, "Is Waller there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to change my name."
Hey, you did the right thing. Okay, several years ago, I held on to Evan Ingram because of my team name, and
that's fair. I mean, my plan this year is to change my team name every week depending on who had the highest score. So I'm just going to be changing team names every single week.
Make it really hard to find you in the rankings. Okay, so Noah, talk to me.
I actually deranked Santos a little bit post trade. I didn't love the move. I get you need a receiver help. But, we'll see how it shakes out. I do like Harris. I don't think you're buying him low. I think he's going to be kind of where he finished with hopefully a score. So maybe 15, 16 points a week that you can bank on. So that helps your running backs. But, you already had a pretty weak receiver core, and you're kind of just keeping it at the same level, if not weaker, by moving Waller. So I did move you up versus last week, but I think that's just because I moved other teams down. I don't think your score changed.
We're talking about it at this point. We got to talk about it. So this shot went around the world. You guys all saw it in the fantastic sleeper chat.
Yeah.
Trey went down. I shipped Allen Robinson, Damian Harris, and Robert Tonyan for good old Waller boy, and some guys that Santos was going to drop. Literally asked him, who are you going to cut? And I'll take those guys. And yeah, I want to hear that. I heard a little bit of Noah's take on it, but I want to hear you guys. Let's talk about it. We're already talking about it. We can't get away from it. Let's just talk about
it. If you had to pick one for the rest of the year, would you rather have Harris or Jacobs as your RB2, assuming they're both healthy?
As my RB2, this is going to be controversial. Harris, actually,
okay,
because I think Drake is gonna vulture stuff away from Jacobs. I watched the Monday night game, and they were giving him a lot of touches, and I'm worried it's gonna just turn into a committee situation over there. And Harris just seems to be the guy. So
No, I get that. It all comes down to your individual rankings anyway. So
yeah, like I think Jacobs is really good, and if something changes in Vegas, then I get proven wrong, and all of a sudden I've got some weird flex decisions to make.
How confident are you in Tunyon?
I was happy to get him because I think he will provide at least a decent floor, and with the way tight ends are in fantasy, a decent floor is really all you can ask. If you don't have one of the top 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
Like Darren Waller? Brian?
Yeah, like Darren Waller. No, like I think if you can get if you don't have Kittle, Waller, some of the other top guys, if you can get 8 to 10 points from your tight end, I think that's a decent week. So
no, absolutely, that's true.
And I think Tanyan will provide that most weeks. So
I want to hear from Justin. I know we're sidetracking, but I love trades. Justin, tell me what you think. I want to break this down.
Yeah, so I actually fall on the opposite end of the spectrum. I know you think you took Santos' team. I actually thought this was a better trade for Santos, because I especially, and me and Luke were texting about this. To me it's a depth for star trade.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I think that's what you needed, Santos, and with the guys in the trade. So Damian Harris, he got pretty much the entire workload, and I think this offense is only going to get better. This was Mac Jones's first start. He's only going to get better. This offense as a whole is only going to get better. So and they went up against a Miami defense that's pretty good. So I think you're looking at perhaps Damian Harris is only going to get better. Allen Robinson, 2 words, Justin Fields. He's going to start at some point, and this offense, to me, is just going to go through the roof with Fields. And Robinson went up against, he had a bad game in week 1, but he went up against the Rams, the best defense in the league. And then Tunyon, we already talked about the Packers. So to me, I think you bought low on Robinson and Tunyon and even Harris to a degree. And I don't like
Darren Waller is low. That's a chip.
Justin. And I just think that it's a longer season. We're going to, what is it? So we're going to week 14, and that's a long way to go. And I think I would make this. I think this is a good trade for Luke if we're talking about it later on in the season or this early in the season. I don't like it.
So I just real quick, and I know we're sidetracking. I'll stop saying that. For me, this is a confidence. This is setting confidence for my team. I was like Justin mentioned, we're texting. I fully believe Javonte Williams comes around. I fully believe that Julio Jones is not going to dud, and I fully love Corey Davis. And I always, you guys already know, Deontay, I kept it. And so, no, I just gave us a look like what? And so.
Corey Davis?
Yeah, as a wide receiver 3, 2 or 3. Either way, my idea was I would rather have the almost guaranteed win at tight end than I spent, for me, this was I spent Harris to replace Robinson with Waller. That's how I look at it. It cost me my RB3 to replace my wide receiver 1 with my wide receiver 1 with a better one, and I can also go play another wide receiver. That's how I see it. And so it's going to be interesting to see. We'll track this through the season. I think there's no clear winner though, which makes it. That's why the trade's so good.
Yeah, that's why the trade is so interesting to me, because it's not like we're 6 weeks in and clearly someone's underperforming or whatever.
Right.
This is literally a just pull the trigger and see what happens.
I love it. Okay, we talked about it. We don't have to talk about it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 5 is Ken Grenfell. Comes in at 5, loses Gus Edwards, still performs. Noah, we haven't heard from you for a while.
I actually had Ken at 5, and that's because I do really love the receivers and I love the tight end, and that's a lot of points being manufactured. Now you do have startable assets. They're shaky a little bit at running back. I think they'll probably continue to split Taylor and Hines, although that isn't always a bad situation, like you saw with who were talking about, Sanders. where they may limit the workload of the bell cow, but that just keeps them healthy and keeps them effective. So we'll see what happens with Gaskin. It was kind of like a slow game in the Miami Patriots game, so
Good defense too.
certainly not worried about that. And yeah, Herbert will bounce back. I didn't see that game. I just know he kind of underperformed what you'd expect from him, but you still got to count on him. So yeah, I think I moved Ken up 2 spots. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, you guys, Justin has him at the highest at 4. Actually, I've got him at 6, which is also a move up from last week. Actually, I had him at 5, so I guess I'm moving down. That's more about the teams ahead of him. But yeah, good squad. I mean, Ken's a solid manager, so can't really expect anything else.
He does need a team name though.
Yeah, he was talking to me about. He came over on Saturday and said, "I got to change my team name. I just don't know what to change it to." And I said, "Bring the Lizards back. We missed the Lizards." So we'll
guessing
see.
that's Sammy Watkins.
Oh wow, yeah, maybe.
Oh.
All right, number 4, and this is the biggest mover. Is number 4, I think. Number 4 is Noah.
Oh. I think Mark was an equally big move because I was at 2 last week, right?
Yeah, but I think there's someone actually moved 3, but shockingly is you going down is more shocking than the Noah jump up or the Mark jump up. So yeah, Noah was at 2 last week, goes to 4, was the lowest scoring team and gets the best waiver ad because of it. So woohoo!
Disgusting.
And yeah, let's talk about. I don't know what to talk about otherwise. Like Ridley's concerning. I think that's the biggest reason I put him down. Is going in. I thought these was the best receivers in the league. Maybe tied with Justin. Devontae Adams. Great receivers. But the Atlanta offense looks horrible, and this team is built on those receivers. David Montgomery looked great though, so it's like, and Higbee was good. And Tom Brady, obviously, clearly, because he's ageless, is just going to score fantasy points until he dies. So, like, Noah, you don't have yourself at 4. Noah has got himself.
3.
Oh, good for you. I thought you had yourself higher. Still the highest. I got you at 3 too. So tell us why we shouldn't be worried.
I have too much depth. I have like 5 starting running backs. Well, 5 startable running backs. So the depth I put myself up to an A, I think, or no, to a B. Yeah, I mean it's the first week of the season, so I'm not ready to overreact on Ridley. I do think my wide receiver depth is a concern because of the question mark. But everything else about the roster is just too good. So like where some people may have 1 week running back, but a lot of other good players, I have 1 week wide receiver and a lot of other good players. So definitely not concerned. But there is a hole or at least a question mark.
And it could be nothing.
Yeah.
Could be nothing. Anything else, guys, before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say about our matchup. Like, I think Noah just got supremely unlucky. Mostert going out early and then Jones having a dud game. I mean,
right.
Jones has a good game and Mostert stays in, and I lose that matchup. So, but that's fantasy, right? So I think this is still a really, really good team.
I was so sorry, finish your thought.
Yeah, no, this is still a really good team. I think, if Ridley balances out, Diggs is really good, Montgomery's good. I mean, this is a stacked roster, so yeah.
So I saw how the week was shaking out, and I seriously considered benching the Ravens D just so I could secure the number.
Oh, that's low.
It didn't matter.
That's brilliant. I was sitting there like watching that game because I also needed Lamar to get like 15 points in another league to win that matchup, and I was just sitting there and like it was the tensest moment up until like Jacobs punched it in for his second TD. It's like, all right, we're good.
Yeah, we already passed Santos with the Jacob. It was all touchdowns. That's the concerning part, right, in that backfield.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, our previous number 1. It's Josh Kessler. Josh Kessler comes in at 3. I probably should have done a surprise for this one, but Josh Kessler comes in at 3 after he gets destroyed by me last week on a Justin Kicker 10 seconds left field goal and a Lamar fumble in overtime. Love to see it as a Steelers fan. Kessler's here at 3, and his team is still very good. I beat him. This was the matchup of 2 top 4. Last week we ranked 4 guys in the top 4 that were kind of a step ahead of the rest of the league. Me, Kobayashi, Noah, and Justin, or Josh Kessler, and we happened to be playing each other, so someone had to lose. Good rosters going up against one another, and then now Josh is going against Noah this week, I think. So kind of a rough start to the season. Two really good teams going up each other again, but this team is good. I'm just going to take this one real quick. Lamar Jackson is going to have a better day. I think that the Ravens offensive line got off to a really weird start. They had a couple injuries, but they came back. Henry, Gibson, Carson, Andrews, Kupp, Allen, Chase, who I was so down on. Chase looks like a stud.
He was sandbagging.
And yeah, he was apparently. And Melvin Gordon is a flex play on most teams, and Josh cannot start him because he has that many good players ahead of him. This team's very, very good, and it's managed very, very well. I'm not worried about it. Similar to I had Noah at 3, similarly because it was concerning to see the floor. But I truly think that we got floor games from these guys. Both Josh and Noah's teams kind of showed up funky, and that's not going to be consistent. We're gonna be here in 8 weeks and be like, oh wow, that was weird that they were that down. I think personally.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. His entire starting lineup only scored 2 touchdowns. That's fairly low. Positive regression is coming, and I think this team is so good that he didn't even. I don't think he made a single waiver claim this week because he doesn't need it. Yeah. I literally built my waiver strategy around if he drops someone, I want to be able to pick whoever he drops. That's how good this team is. And it's just a weird week, and I think it's quite funny. Our top 3 teams that we had last week in our power rankings scored the 3 lowest amount of points. That's just fantasy football.
Hey, but 2 of us won, so don't matter. Okay. All right. Into 2. There's 2 teams left. Santos, we'll let you think. Who's the number 2? Or you know what? We're gonna let you guess number 1, and then we'll reveal 2. Who do you think?
Okay, hang on. What teams are remaining?
Me and Kobayashi. Josh Kobayashi.
Kobayashi.
The third best Kobayashi.
The third best Kobayashi. Yet somehow is maybe the best Kobayashi is here. We'll see. I'm gonna say you are the number 1, Luke. That's what I'm saying.
I'm the number 1. I'm so sorry, Santos. I'm
Incorrect.
2. Josh Kobayashi is the 1. We're gonna talk about my squad. We already talked about the trade, so we're not gonna talk about that. But you boys, you tell me if I'm wrong. But this lineup is saucy. It's spicy.
It's good. I mean, yeah, Waller is basically now your wide receiver 1.
Yep.
Deontay is good. Julio will bounce back. I think Corey Davis is a really sneaky play. I think he's going to get a lot of looks up there. And then, your running backs are nuts. Murray's nuts. It's stacked.
Mixon, Harris. Hopefully Williams turns around. I really do like Williams. Williams had a ton of work. The Giants defensive line, I guess, is really strong, but he had 14 attempts in a close game. So I think he's going to slowly take over, and I really like that offensive line. But Justin said earlier with the trade, I went to try to max out my stars, and I wanted to take more deep shots on my bench. I want to get my until I get injured, right? Until someone gets injured and everyone's going to laugh that my depth is gone. But I want to make sure my starting lineup is as best as possible. And that's where this move comes down to.
Yeah, how long are you going to leave David Johnson and Christian Kirk on your bench?
There are waiver claims in. There are people I would like off the waiver wire. I will not say who, but there are waivers in right now. No, anything to add before we talk about the incumbent?
Yeah, I think it's too early to crown Najee Harris, and too early to declare that Corey Davis is a stud. So, I did rank you at 2, which is unchanged. But there's still guys that need to prove themselves, both by scoring higher and by maintaining their performance. So we will see, because it could be that Najee Harris is just like last year's Clyde, which is a starting running back but not a star. So
no, that's fair.
That's fair.
I will say the difference between those two, but you're making a good point, is Clyde was pulled off on passing downs and lost goal line work, and Harris, as a rookie, didn't leave the field when the offense was on it.
Yeah,
which is which is a huge, that's why I'm not worried about it at all. I love the touches. I love how he never left the field. And then Davis, I don't know if you guys watched the game. The Jets' offense sucks. They're
really
very
bad.
bad. They're very bad.
And they just
And-
lost Becton, which is
For 6 weeks or something.
yeah,
Dave
which is gonna be
Direction
rough.
came after that injury. Like, I'm excited, but I totally agree. I think we need to see some more from them before we can declare them as amazing. All right, Josh Kobayashi finished last year.
We don't need to talk about him. We can just move on.
Finished last year, has the best team in the league. Okay, so guys, let's talk. I want to bring this up. I made it. We're not going to talk about the team, but I'm going to talk about something real quick. I made an offer to Josh Kobayashi today. I made the deal with Santos. I locked up the deal. Then I went to Josh and literally sent him this text, including draft capital. How much would it cost me to buy Adam Thielen? That's what I sent him. I said, not that I'm going to say yes, but tell me what it's going to cost. And he said, a third for a 6 plus like a receiver. I was like, that's insane. I said, that's crazy. And he's like, you asked. And I said, okay, fine. Let's talk. Let's have a discussion. And he says, well, what would your giving your first round pick cost? And I said, I will give you right now your choice. Right now, you say yes, I'm doing it. Right now, I'll give you your choice, Julio or Davis. My first for your second and Thielen. And he said no.
Wow.
He said no. I would have done it
makes
too.
sense. He's going for it now. You don't
No,
want to.
I don't think he made the wrong decision. I'm just saying, like, this was the dialogue. Like, it was insane. I was crazy enough to offer my first and be like,
That's
take it.
That's wilder than our trade. In my
Who did you
opinion.
offer? Julio or who?
Julio or Davis.
Julio or Davis.
And he said no?
He said no. He said no. So again,
I'm looking at Josh's roster, and Thielen is currently on his bench.
Yeah,
that's what I said. That's why I came after. I said, okay, what about Antonio Brown? What about Antonio Brown? Like, you're gonna trade one of these guys.
I'd be flexing
would've
Thielen
done
instead
that
of
in a
Clyde.
heartbeat.
So,
But yeah, he said no, and now I can't offer that again because I feel like an idiot offering it. But that happened, and like this is where Josh is living, knowing that he has the roster. That you know what, I could lose 3 starters, I'll be just fine. I'll be just fine. I mean, like if Swift goes down, Jamal Williams is gonna be fine.
yeah.
If it's 2 of his receivers go down, just put in Woods and Thielen. Like this team is ridiculous. And then Hawkinson is easily the tight end 4, like maybe the tight end 3.
Yeah, I got
the tight end 2. Like
yeah, I got to note his running back pair. I actually have this exact pair in 2 other leagues. It's so freaking good. And then if you've got Williams to handcuff for Swift, it's pretty unstoppable.
Clyde's in the flex might not get played this week. That's what he told me. Clyde's in the flex might not get played this week.
Yeah, imagine not starting Clyde. Like that's crazy.
Afford to do that. It might be the right choice. Like
it might be. I was just like, maybe he flexes Thielen here. That might be the right play.
His only hole is his quarterback, which we kind of have to wait and see with Tannehill. But once I'm super high on Fields, so whenever
I was about to say
starts,
his bench, he should, in theory, have a star coming. In theory, we've seen
we'll see what happens.
Running rookie quarterbacks generally work out for fantasy. That's the rankings, boys. Josh Kobayashi at number 1. I think justly so. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit we've prepared. Hopefully, we've all prepared this, right?
Well, maybe we just do matchup of the week because otherwise, I think it could take quite a while.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, we're at 55 minutes. I'm having too much fun. Too much fun, boys. All right, matchup of the week.
We're only really at 43 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Either way, let's do 2 pick'ems. 2 pick'ems. 2 pick'ems. We're gonna pick against one another. Santos, give us a game that you feel like you've got an eye on the underdog.
An eye on the underdog. Are we got underdog as in what Sleeper's predicting?
No, just you think you're going against the grain, right? You want us to pick against you.
Okay. Dang it. If someone else has one in mind,
anyone want to jump in?
Yeah, I have myself.
All right, so you think you're gonna beat Justin or Josh Kessner?
Yes.
All right, I think Josh is gonna get you. This is the one that I was gonna throw out there, but I think I'm picking against you.
Understand.
I'm picking against you. This is good. Where are you guys falling? Santos, Justin?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I would say Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson. I'm going to take Tom Brady there versus Atlanta. Jones and Henry. I'm going to take Jones there. Montgomery and Gibson. I'm going to take Montgomery. Ridley and Allen. I'm going to take Allen there. Cup Diggs. I'll take Cup. Higbee, Andrews. Probably Higbee there. And then Mitchell Carson. I'd probably take Carson. Oh, it's so close.
I'm going to lean Noah. I'm going to lean Noah on this one, actually.
I think I will as well.
All right, I can't wait to kick your all's butts with this one. Josh, I know you just got shamefully beat by me, but you're going to take it out. You're going to get this one. All right,
this is cool, though. Talking back or referencing back to when we were talking about the scheduling differences, like in the old way we did it, if you started 0-2 or 0-3, you were in a huge hole, not because of your ranking, but also because of tiebreaker implications within your division at the end of the year. But now, like, if he starts 0-2, he hasn't lost any divisional matchups, so it doesn't really matter.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Just how the scheduling worked out, my brain could not wrap around how to schedule us all playing each other at the beginning, at the end, and randomizing the other 9 managers or whatever it is through the year. It was just insane. And so, we're not guaranteed to play. I think some people might, but we're not guaranteed to play division first 3 weeks, which is a change for us, and that's totally true. And it's rough for Josh. Josh is playing against 2 of the top teams,
which I actually don't mind. I mean, that's the way the NFL does it.
I prefer this method.
I actually quite like it, but I do like that we end with the division. I think makes those final 3.
Well, we will
really
do
important.
this every year.
Attention.
It was by design. It wasn't by accident. And he plays Santos next week. Like, okay, all right. That could be our pick'em. Is there another one? I think. I
was looking at the Justin Mark matchup.
Same.
It's also super intriguing.
Oh, this one is good.
Just running this down.
Has ranking implications. Like if Mark wins, he definitely moves above Justin.
Yeah.
Rankings.
I think I actually
2-0 Mark. Oh my goodness.
Best wide receiver cores in the league going up against each other.
We buried him. Yeah, questionable running backs. Ooh. What a
both teams running backs.
Really.
This is like receivers and quarterbacks versus receivers and quarterbacks. Like I don't think running back is going to really come into play that much.
Henderson's going to score his touchdowns, and he's going to prove you all wrong.
And then I will be wrong.
Here's my hot take: Cole Kmet outscores Kyle Pitts.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Mark,
I like this one as well. That's a good take.
And Mark wins the game. That's my hot take. Justin's gonna win at tight end and lose the matchup. That's how I see this one playing out. Anyone want to pick Justin? Anyone?
I'm gonna take me off.
Who did you take, Santos?
I'm gonna go Justin here. Actually, I like his running back
double up
upside.
on the field. I'm gonna wreck all you guys.
I like his running back upside more, and something I've just got like a gut feeling that Cowboys are not going to pop off as much as they did last week. So
his wide receivers can't go for 80+ again. Like that would be
exactly like that would like
you never know, man.
It doesn't work like that. So
Barkley is going to go for 8 points tomorrow night, and I'm going to double down on my Mark's going to win this game. Just you watch.
Barkley will get 18 points, and I will be taking Mark in this match.
Let's go! You get to win one of these. Fantastic. All right. Well, I think that's it for us. You guys want to bring up anything else? I think we're good.
Yeah, we talked about the trade, got through the rankings. Yeah, no, I think
Santos,
we're good.
No sauce for Noah.
Took him down. I've learned that getting cocky in this league comes back to bite me.
I'd love to go back and check, but I feel like Santos has had my number more than most.
That'd be I'm sure there's some sort of historical look through we could do to see.
I can't wait to lose week 11 to you, Noah, and get a new team name.
As a tradition.
Tradition. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
This was great. Glad to have been
thanks
on
for
the
joining,
show.
Santos.
Yeah, you were a pleasant guest. We'll have you back, definitely.
Absolutely.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
Peace.
Adios.